My name is Rahul Desai. I graduated from the MSB in 2016, and I'm currently a strategy analyst at Fahrenheit 212. I was an open major and an English minor. Open and English are kind of an interesting combination because one is very data-driven and systematic. The other is very subjective, emotional, psychological, visceral. And for me, the combination of the two was compelling because there are very few people in the world who are good at both, and I wanted to be the sort of person who was. So I did a number of things here at Georgetown. I contributed a lot to Startup Hoyas, the entrepreneurship community on campus. I wrote for the Hoya in an opinion column, which was called Unpopular Opinion, because I spouted off things that perhaps other people disagreed with. But I think the biggest thing I did on campus was actually found a startup, a machine learning company that could predict whether other startups would succeed. It ultimately failed, but I think that was the thing that had the biggest impact on my life here, and it wouldn't have been possible without the people I met at Georgetown. In my first semester at Georgetown in December, I got an internship at a marketing analytics firm founded by a Hoya alum. And I was one of their first hires because it was a startup, and I was doing quality assurance. And they actually exited. They were bought by a much larger firm for a sizable chunk of cash, and that was a really great experience. And then I didn't actually have any summer internships, but I worked as a freelance website developer one summer, and I think that was a really fruitful experience for me. I'm actually self-taught. I was working on this startup, and the developers I was working with said, "You're a moron, you need to learn how to code." So I actually picked up the skills on the side so I wouldn't feel so bad about myself. So I haven't been out of school all that long. It's been about 1.5 years now. And I've been working as a strategy analyst for Fahrenheit 212, as I mentioned, which is a subsidiary of Capgemini, which is a global tech consulting institution. And my office mainly focuses on product development. So we'll work with any industry, any sector, so life sciences, finance, retail, food, and help them build better products, services, and experiences. And that's been really fruitful for me because it's very different than typical consulting. And I think it's nice to know that there are other pathways out there for those who are looking. I think I could have done more in terms of learning hard skills. I think Open was a good start, but I would have loved to get some more computer science courses in, simply because it's becoming so important to our society these days. I think the English was really helpful on the subjective side, and I would have liked to balance that out a little more on the hard skills side. I think my favorite class was Decision Support Systems with Bonnie Montagno. It focused a lot on augmenting human judgment and fixing our cognitive biases through data. And it was really cool, and it was applied knowledge, so that made it really fun. I think that a lot of times people will think that the best jobs can be found on a website or on a hiring page, but in fact you're going to network your way into the best jobs. And to do that, find someone who is who you aspire to be a couple of years down the line, and talk to them and understand how they got there through their trajectory and see how they can help you get there. And I'm sure there are a lot of alumni in our community, because it's particularly strong, who'd be happy to do that. I think the most important thing that I've learned in my career so far, which hasn't been very long to be fair, but it's knowing things that other people don't know, or believing things that are true that other people don't realize. And you do that by having a perspective on the world. And I think a lot of young people don't want to develop that perspective because they're afraid of being wrong. But if you are devoted to learning and growing as a person, I'm sure you'll develop that perspective in no time.